I feel that any truth seeker, whistleblower, conscious person, any just free thinker out there can agree with the following statement that society is very reluctant to change, right? A lot of us out here have gone away from the pack to go learn some lessons. We've gone out there and learned about health. We've learned about politics. We've learned about wealth. We've learned about the environment. We've learned that the world is scripted. Everything in the matrix is scripted. It's just here to distract the minds and the souls of so-called society at large, you know? And we've broken out of that matrix, and we're trying so hard to wake everybody up, to shine light on the darkness, but we realize that some people just aren't going to apply that new knowledge in their world. They may even go as far as to acknowledge your intellect. Wow, he or she is so smart, so intelligent, so wise. They're in the know. Oh my gosh, you go talk to Sarah. She knows so much about that. You know what I'm saying? But in their own world, you have better luck selling salt to a slug. You know what I'm saying? Because they will not go out there and apply that knowledge in their own world, because simply that would just take too much work on their part. That would take too much effort. They're glad you're doing all the work. But if it comes to them changing their world in any shape, form, or fashion, shifting their own paradigms, don't even worry about it. This becomes very frustrating, doesn't it? When you're trying to share this with the people around you, people closest with you, because you want them to have the greatest chance at a successful, happy, healthy life, and they just will not get on the level that you wish they would. This starts to make us feel resentful. And for sometimes, and once again, I'm speaking about myself, makes you very resentful of the world at large. It makes you even sometimes feel like you're above them because you know so much, but you can't make that mistake. We are no higher than anybody else. No matter how many books we read, no matter how many seminars and retreats we've went to, it doesn't matter. We are not above them. We just have to be the leaders. We have to be the examples, if you don't like the term leader, something that I fight with to this very day. You know, but it's like you don't have to be the leader, but be the example of an applied philosophy. Easy example. I was a practitioner of semen retention. My longest streak was 3 years, you know? And it gravitated so many young men towards me because I'm walking proof of what that practice does for you. But not only that, you know, hair growth. You know, I believe in the spiritual power, especially of anyone's hair, but especially of the melanated, carbonated, so-called black people of this planet. When we grow our hair out, that gives us power, I promise you. And for me, it started off as a test, and it started off to be something that I found love. The greatest love that you can have is love for yourself. And when my hair is growing out, oh, I'm feeling beautiful. I feel powerful. I feel even more handsome than I already was. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I'm walking proof, and that's what we all need to be, because you go on the internet long enough, you put out a thought out there, you'll be like, they'll say, oh, this is what this and this is, and blah, 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 and someone's going to say, sources, proof. They want you to give them the proof. They're not going to go look it up. They're not going to go validate it themselves. Most of the world is lazy. So they won't even go out there and validate something for themselves. They won't even do a quick Google search to figure this type of stuff out. And even if they do, they'll be, oh, the first Google search said that this is wrong, so I'm not even going to look further down into this. You know what I'm saying? It's frustrating. It's annoying. You know that you put in the work, so now you feel more powerful than other people. Yeah, it's easy to fall into that way of thinking, but you can't do it. Because even you in your own world, no matter how knowledgeable you are, how intellectual you are, how inquisitive you are to occult and higher level knowledge and wisdom out there, you are still an imperfect being, and you have to remember that, right? You need to be humbled. Let this be your reminder and my own reminder to stay humble. In the words of Kendrick Lamar, sit down, stay humble. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because at the end of the day, we're all just babies in the spiritual game. If you're on the earthly plane and you were born of woman, as spoken of in the Bible and a lot of religious texts out there, if you have this human experience, you are here to learn. You are but a student. You are but a baby to the game. You know what I'm saying? Y'all may have remembered a few weeks ago where I was on my God arc, and I still am. Don't get me wrong. I still have my own challenges that I'm still overcoming and such, you know, but it's like I have this new connection with God. I have this new way of communicating with what I call God, right? And the funny thing is, you know, I'm still doing my shadow work as well. I just previously recorded a video about that. And one of the things is I had this realization that, as I said, that society is, reluctant to change, I have to make sure that I don't become too reluctant to change. Yes, we have our own way of doing things and such, but you know what I'm saying? You can't be the one that learns new information and doesn't find the newest way to apply it in your own personal world. Okay, I got this new connection with God. I got this new connection with my body. I got this new connection with Source. Why am I still moving the same? Why am I still finding myself falling into old ways of thinking that no longer suit me? I've already said it out loud, internally, outernally, innerstanding, outerstanding, understanding, overstanding. I've said all these things, but here I am still finding myself, giving attention, giving some type of time to limited beliefs. Look at me. As smart as I am, I'm still making mistakes, right? The sentence, I need to change, is something that can change its meaning based off of the tone of it. Yeah, I need to change, man. That means it's like, it's time. It's time for change in your life. It's time for you to start moving some things around. It's time for you to cut people off. It's time for you to bring people in. It's time for you to block certain experiences. It's time for you to welcome certain experiences. Yeah, I need to change. Then sometimes, this is the one that I'm currently on, which is motivating this video. It's like, I need to change. It's like, I need to change. I'm constantly changing. It's something I say all the time. I'm not the same person I was last week, the week before, the month. I'm always a new person because I'm always learning. But every once in a while, you can find yourself in a rut. You can find yourself feeling a little stuck. But like I said, sometimes you always have to climb out, like in every, like horror movies, or when a movie wants to make sure that it has a sequel, we beat the enemy, we beat the bad guy. And then at the end of the movie, slow zoom into the grave site or where they were dug. And then the hand just pops out of the ground. It's like, yeah, that's me saying, I need to change. I need to consistently keep on changing until my world looks the way that I want it to look. You have to remember that everything in your physical reality is an outpicturing of your internal belief system. Whatever you believe is what you see. If you believe a certain race is above or below you, that's how you're going to treat them. If you see someone's belief system when it comes in regards to religion as, a certain type of way, you're going to see yourself as above or below them. You know what I'm saying? No matter how you feel, that's how you're going to dictate how you treat people based off of what your preconceived notions of them internally. What you truly believe is what you're going to see people as. You think the world's going to burn? You're going to see every piece of evidence that dictates that the world's going to burn. You see that the world is going to survive and thrive? That's all you see. Which side of the vibration you are. Like my video I made about the Great Divide. Which frequency are you operating under? The thing is, though, we all have things that we want. There's nothing wrong with wanting things, you know what I'm saying? In certain contexts, find the balance in what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with wanting things. But if it's not in your world, that means that you haven't matched the frequency of it, because if the two magnets didn't have similar, opposite, but like exact polarities from the opposite polarity, they would never attract. If you don't have whatever it is that you want in your physical world, that means that you haven't matched the frequency of it just yet. Once you match the frequency of it, then you have it, right? So you have to keep changing. You have to keep changing. You have to keep growing. You have to be the forerunner of the change that you want to see. The old saying, be the change that you want to see in the world. Yeah, that has to be you, my guy, my sis. That has to be you. You have to be the change. You see what I'm saying? But like one of the videos I just recorded, though, you can't get too blind and you can't get too tunnel vision. You still have to remain open in new ways because, even though I had like a shadow work video where I ranted a little bit about this, but God has a way that ye know not of. My ways are not your ways. So if you think things are going to happen a certain type of way, nah. I'll be very broad with this on purpose because certain things are still developing, but I needed an answer in my life. And I said, God, I'm testing you. I'm testing you. I need an answer by the end of the week so I know which way to move. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I thought that I still me living in the old way of thinking. I need to remind God that knows everything already. The thing's already done in God's eyes. And I'm over here reminding him, hey, bro, it's Wednesday, bro. I'm still waiting for the answer. It don't look like nothing's coming. I'm just saying. Thursday, Friday. On Friday, I remember I was starting just completely, aside from that conversation that I had with God, and I was just talking to myself, and I was just like, man, screw this. I'm just going to move forward, man. Like, I don't need an answer to this no more. I got it. And then the second I said that, I was like, God dang it. You did it again. You know what I'm saying? When am I going to learn to stop challenging you? You know what I'm saying? We can't live in the old way of thinking. Some of y'all have been needing to change your diet. Now, I'm not one of those people, like, you know me, I'm vegan, vegetarian, I go back and forth between, but I find myself more on the vegan side, and I might do some experimentation with the fruitarian side of things. You know, one day my goal is to be like breatharian. I don't need food no more. That's my goal, but that's for decades away from now. Maybe, we'll see. Right? But some of y'all need to change up that diet. Some of y'all are wondering why you aren't making those weight loss gains or weight loss, progress. You're not making them muscle gains. You're not doing this and that and bada bing, bada boom. And you're doing the same things, but you're not seeing those results. Maybe you got to try something different. Change. Well, if I keep on doing this, maybe I just need to give it more time. You've been giving it a lot of time. How about you just change it up a little bit? Maybe mix and match some new philosophies into the way that you put food into your body. You know what I'm saying? Because for me personally, I'm like that. I'm always changing. I'm always changing it up. If I don't have whatever it is I want in my life, I need to change certain things. You know, it was actually kind of funny. I sent a text to one of my friends because her and I have like these moments like where we just be thinking in our thoughts and we just text that other person. We text each other just where we are in our heads and be like, yo, what's good with you? You know, she thought I was sending her a suicide though, because I said, thank you for being there for me. Thank you for always being there for me. I need to say things need to change, say thank you for being there for me. I need to change. Things need to change. And she's like, is everything okay? Like that sounded like more like a goodbye, more than anything. And I was like, oh, no, my brain's just all over the place. I need to, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it's like, there's people with you that are going to be here and support your changes. And if they don't support the changes that you make in your life, then so be it. But if you find that that's the decision that you need to make in your world, then you need to make it. This is your life, and only you are going to reap the consequences of your actions. Consequences are neither good nor bad. They are just a result of a decision, a result of an action, right? Consequences are yours to deal with, right? So you can still not change because you want to stay with your friends. You can not change because this girl you like or this guy you like likes things a certain type of way. You can stay stagnant if you want to, but what does a body of water that has no motion in it typically do? How do you describe a non-moving body of water? Stagnant. And stagnation equals death. So change is necessary. I mean, if you didn't change, you'd still have your mom and your daddy cleaning your diapers. I mean, that's a very obvious and obtuse way of thinking about things, but that in itself is change. That's an elementary level of change. Okay, let's use the exact words using that analogy. If they didn't change your diaper, wouldn't you be sitting there in your own poop and you be getting all these rashes and infections and stuff? You see what happens when you don't change? You see what happens when you sit still in your life? You need to change. I'm changing. I'm working on myself. And my message to the world is y'all can't be so reluctant to change. You see it. The proof is out there. Some of this stuff you can even Google now. Sometimes even the elites be slipping up and letting some information out there for the masses to see. But if that involves people changing the way that they do things, they will not do. I've been doing this for 30 years. Hell, I had to joke my dad. Sorry, Dad, love you. But I was joking my dad because he was just like, yeah, whenever I've been doing push-ups for 50 years. Whatever. I've been doing push-ups in the Navy. I've been doing it for 30 years. Blah, 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 blah. But my shoulder hurt, man. Oh, man. I'm like, well, maybe you need to change your form. Oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. Well, maybe you've been doing them with the bad form for 30 years. That's why your shoulder joints are messed up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like you need to change your form. Exercise science, fitness science has been evolving over time, and there's different ways to do things. There's different, just proper form with stuff. You've seen these gym rats. You tell them they ain't doing something with the right form, and they tell you, no, I got it. 2 weeks later, they slip a disc. Or their muscle gives out, or by boom, it's like, I told you so. My grandma always get a kick out of that. But it's like I always look at this. Even though I said not to become arrogant, not to become conceited and look at stuff, sometimes you just have the answer. You just gotta watch people fail sometimes. But you just gotta be able to, I told you so. Oh wow, so you started changing your diet and you realized how much energy you had. You stopped giving so much energy to negative thought forms and you realize how much happier you feel. Wow. You learned that different religions are all articulating the same exact story. I know, crazy, right? I know, but Now that you have that information, like, it's like a Alphanim on YouTube, like he does a lot of like crypto research. But one of his outros that I'm going to steal for this one is, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. Till the next one. Peace.